Hi, I'm Sproins, and welcome to the Hermit Pack. So the Hermit Pack is a Minecraft mod pack for version 1.10.2, as you can see here, and it was made for, and perhaps to some degree by, the members of Hermitcraft, which is a community of online YouTubers, Minecrafters, and they play Minecraft and modded Minecraft and all kinds of other games. And here's kind of a drawing of all of their avatars. So yeah, a little creepy. But anyway, I thought this would be a pretty good pack to kind of start my foray into Minecraft 1.10 and into 1.10 mods. I don't really have a whole lot of experience with 1.10, and yeah, I don't really have any experiences with 1.10 mods. I am aware of some of the changes, but there's a lot of mods in this pack that I don't know anything about, so I thought it'd be pretty fun to just start playing on this pack. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's create a new single player world. We will call this YouTube world because I plan to record myself playing on this world and upload those recordings to YouTube. So that's a pretty apt title. So survival, generate structures, world type. Now there is realistic, but I think we're just going to go with default. Generate structures is on, no cheating, bonus chest is off, done, and let us create the world and hope that we get a good spawn. So it's going to be a random seed. And one thing before I begin, all of the configs are default except for one. I changed the one probe to make it behave more like Wayla. So yes, I could have just installed Wayla, but I kind of want to keep this as, as vanilla, or well, not really vanilla, but as close to the original pack as it was released as possible. So I have the one config change for the one probe, and that is it. And please take your time, world. It's not like I have a video to record or anything. Anytime. There we go. And we might experience a little bit of lag spikiness as the world loads in. That should clear up momentarily. So it looks like we have plains, which is great. And there is a Tinker's Construct Slime Island right off the bat, which is good. And over this way, it looks to be maybe a bit of a forest. Let's go over here and check this out. Let's go ahead and also get our inventory achievement. We should also take a look at these books. So open computers. Computers, so perhaps this is kind of like, okay, I'm seeing Lua, so I think this might be the continuation or 1.10 version of Computercraft. We have Digital Guide, which is a work in progress, Environmental Tech, which I know absolutely nothing about, but this has a very nice interface. I like that. Assembler. Alright, so maybe this will help me learn a little bit more about environmental tech, and materials and you, good old Tinker's Construct, which I know has changed quite a bit since 1.7. So yeah, it looks like we have forest over here. So I guess I should also not be running, because I do know in 1.10, hunger and food is more of an issue. So yeah, you can see in the top right we have journey map. In the top left, that is the one probe that I was talking about. And looks like we have Botania. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and start punching trees. And if there's any sheep around here, there is one thing I do want to change. That looks like a structure. Is that a village or a ship? That looks like a ship. One thing I want to change, let's see if I can bring up journey map. Alright, options. Minimap, let's see. I think there's, yeah, mob display, small icons. So let's see. Alright, so now we can actually see what their, what the icons represent. So instead of a white dot, we actually see like the little chicken face. And there are some sheep over here, so I'm probably going to want to get wool. Unless this ship, lag spike? Yes. Unless the ship, or whatever it is made out of wool, then I could just kind of raid it. But there might be some scary mobs over there. Yeah, it looks like there's pirates. So maybe we'll hold off on that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start playing vanilla style, punching trees, digging out a little bit of cobblestone, and I'll be back in just a little bit. I'll maybe try to find a place to set up a first base, kind of like a hole in the ground or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so I'll get to it and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm still kind of exploring, walking around, collecting food, but it is beginning to become dark. So I think now would be a good time to make my first real crafted item besides these starter tools. So if we go over here to JEI, which this is kind of like, I guess, the new NEI, which NEI is the new TMI. But anyway, so search for sleeping bag. We can see we have a sleeping bag, and here's the recipe: red carpet, or I guess any kind of carpet, 2 on top of 3 of any kind of wool, right? So we're going to make quickly some black carpet as it is getting dark quickly. Then do that, and we get a sleeping bag. So let's go ahead and right click, and you can see all these wonderful achievements that I've been getting. And it's daytime, so the sleeping bag, if this works the way that it did in previous versions, it does not reset your spawn location, which would make sense because we keep it on our person. However, it was, whenever I put it on, it kind of like equipped itself. So if I had a chest piece, you would see the 2 swap out. I don't know, kind of weird. That's just always how it's been. But yeah, so that is that, and just thought I'd show that really quickly as it's the first modded item that I crafted. I might even like dig a hole down here, although I would like something like this. Something like a little hill that I can just go into. That way I'm not too far down. Or something like this might also work. But yeah. I'll go ahead and figure that out off camera, and I will be back when I have something figured out. Yeah. Alright, so not really a whole lot of time has passed, and not much has changed. I just kind of dug into this little hole, cleared out a 7x7 area, and this should be just fine for starting out. I figured I could show off several things at once here, though. So first, this place needs to be lit up, and I just quickly made some charcoal in the furnace, and I turned 1 piece of charcoal into 4 torches, and I'm cooking this mutton with the other piece of charcoal. I should also mention that I got the solidified experience, and I don't really know what it's for. I got this from when I was taking care of some of the mobs to get their foods. So if we hit R, it shows us the act add manual. I really need this. Can I craft this? Yes, I can. I need canola seeds and paper. So I get canola seeds from canola. I don't know. Click to see more information. Oh, so this takes me to the manual, even though I don't have one. I'm confused. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. For now, what I wanted to show was, okay, so this place needs lit up. If I press F7, I can actually see where mobs can spawn. So the red is they can spawn anytime as long as, you know, a player isn't within 24 blocks or whatever it is. The yellow means they can spawn there at nighttime when the player is not in range. So if we put down this torch, we'll put it in the exact middle, we can see it takes care of all of those spots, so mobs can no longer spawn there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That is something that you could do with NEI, but I think in this pack it's actually a separate mod that does that. And yeah, I actually broke my stone pick, so I have to use my wooden one for right now. Of course, I can always make another stone, but let's just put that right there. And so this place is completely mob proof. So if we go out here, we can see, yeah, mobs can pretty much spawn anywhere. We'll hit F7 to turn that off. I think we can also hit F9. Yeah, so this is another thing that was in NEI. Hit F9, it shows you the chunk outline, but this is a much more detailed chunk outline than that one was. So it even shows you like the exact middle of the chunk, so that's pretty welcome change as well. F9 again. Alright, cool. So go ahead and eat. Not sure why I got some lag there. Was it because I was eating? Maybe. Not entirely sure. Anyway, so yeah, things are coming along pretty nicely. I think the next thing that I need to do is go out here and, well, first I'm actually going to make a bed. Not the sleeping bag, but I am going to sleep right now just so no mobs spawn. And then I'll have to make a bed and put it down. And then come next nighttime, I'll set my spawn point to this to this spot. There is one more thing I want to do. I'm going to jump out here and stand, I don't know, right here maybe? And then I'm going to press C, which is the hotkey that I have it bound to. And that is going to bring up a waypoint for journey map. And we are going to call this home because it is my hole in the ground, home. So yeah, set it to yellow so I can see the yellow contrast nicely against the blue sky. And there you go. So something that's new in 1.10 that I've noticed is it actually disappears when you're within 5 blocks or 5 meter distance. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so if I'm out or if I die and respawn somewhere, I'll always be able to find my way back just by looking for the waypoint. So yeah, that's that. So next, like I was trying to say, what I need to do is chop down enough trees to make about a stack of ladders, and then I'm just going to dig straight down, do the method where let's see. I don't know where exactly I'm going to put it. Probably not right here, but just to show you the method. This is vanilla Minecraft, so it's probably not that interesting, but you stand here, then you mine down 2 blocks, and that way you can make sure that there's actually something to land on. But yeah, like I said, most likely I'm not going to put that there. Alabaster block. You can craft stairs and tiles with it. This would be a really nice block for building. I wonder, is chisel in this pack? Yes, it is. Oh, this actually has the chisels and bits, so you can make all kinds of crazy stuff with that. But that's something we'll have to look at later. Right now, we are just getting started, and I need to go mining. So, I will probably just, I don't know, dig a mine and mine for maybe an hour, maybe more. Depends on how long I feel like mining. But yeah, we'll be back, and I'll show you what I get from that. And I'm going to need to go ahead and make some of these chests. So yeah, I'll get to doing that. And I will be back, and then maybe by then we can actually get into some of the fun stuff. Alright, so I will be back. Alright, we are back, and it's been a little while. I've done a few things, mostly mining, but I've also gotten some other stuff put together and prepared. So we come over here and take a look. You can see what I've got from mining so far. So I've got a bunch of iron, some gold. I only found 1 diamond. But then again, I only found 1 cave. Even though I explored the cave quite a bit, I still only found the 1 diamond, so that's kind of unfortunate. But anyway, the next thing that I want to do is start processing these ores. And I think the easiest way to do that, or at least a way that I like to early game, is to use Tinker's Construct, the smeltery. So I already went ahead, collected a bunch of clay, a bunch of gravel, and made grout. And I just threw the grout in here and made the seared bricks. So grout, in case you don't know, there are the recipes for those things. So that's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and grab this stuff. And I should have 4 stacks of the seared bricks. Hopefully that'll be enough. We will find out. I also went ahead and gathered a bunch of lava. So this is a basic fluid tank. If we look at the recipe for it, for some reason it brings up like all of these recipes. I don't know why, but if we just scroll over, so yeah, redstone, iron ingots, and it doesn't even take glass. All you need is iron ingot and redstone. So I took this down to my mine, found a pocket of lava, filled it up, and even put a little bit more in my tank. So this actually holds 16 buckets, which is awesome. And it retains its inventory when you break it. So yeah, that's really cool. We will need that very shortly for our smeltery. I also went ahead and used some of the sapphire and ruby that I found to make some tools. These actually have pretty high durability, 620, which is like almost 3 times as much as regular iron pick. So yeah, the shovel I've used a little bit, collecting the sand and the gravel. And then Ruby Sword, I haven't actually used, but 6.7 attack is slightly higher than a Iron, which I believe just has 6, and a Sapphire. I also took a look at that one, and it's like 6.2 or something. So Ruby Sword, a little bit stronger, just nice to have. Definitely better than the stone. And then I have yet to replace my stone axe, but that's something I will do shortly. Anyway, let us start doing something that's not completely boring. I think I might also need... So I made some tiny coal, right? And tiny coal, all you have to do is take a piece of coal and put it in a crafting grid, and it gives you tiny coal. And I think you can actually craft it back. I'm not sure. Let's check that out real quick. Okay, so you can't actually craft it back, but it's one operation per. So if I only wanted to burn, like, say, one sand into one piece of glass, I could do that, and I wouldn't waste my coal. And when I crafted this, it actually also gave me the Actually Additions manual that we were talking about, so pretty nice. So there's the one piece of glass. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can do this from memory. So the drain... Well, we will need a drain. We'll need at least one drain. We'll need the controller, right? We will need a at least one faucet. I'm going to go ahead and make 2. Yep, we'll go ahead and make 2. We will need the casting basin, a casting table, and then finally, I believe this is the last structural piece, we will need a seared tank. And then the rest of it, seared bricks. We'll start out with 16 and just see if that's enough to get us going. So let's go out here and find a good spot for this. Make sure I have my bed on me. I don't want it to suddenly become night, and I always like to build my smeltery out in the open. So we'll put it like right here for now. I do have a shovel. I guess I could be using that. And let's also go ahead and... I need to stop trying to shift that, because if I try to shift click it from inventory to inventory, it tries to go onto my chest, which means that it's trying to make me sleep. Anyway, right, so build a simple, and we'll just make it 3x3 or whatever, and we won't worry about the surrounding blocks. So, alright, I just shifted it, so now I have to put it back. Anyway, we will sleep, and there's even more fun achievements. Anyway, so let's put the tank, I guess, right here. Doesn't really matter. I want to put the drain, however, and the smeltery, I kind of have an idea of where I want to put them. Smeltery I want to put here, and I want to leave like a corner open, and we'll see why soon. It's just so I can add a little bit of automation. So we want that, and then we'll put our drain right here, and then how many more? I think this is pretty much it. The rest have to be seared bricks, so we need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 more, I hope. 16. Let's just do 14. Alright. And we'll see if I can do basic math. We'll see if I can say basic math. So, Black Lotus. It's from Actually Additions. And it's not from... Oh, that gives black dye. Okay. I know there's a Black Lotus in Botania, which is a part of this pack. Oops. There's some extreme frame rate issue there for a second. That's what I'm going to blame that misplaced block on. So yeah, now it's working. And we have a whole bunch of seared bricks left over. That's good though. We can use them if we need them. I do not want to smelt those guys. Oh, that's cool. Item can't be molten. That's interesting. Alright, so we'll do that. And that. And then... So I'm going to need a hopper right here. And then a chest right here. And then another hopper here. And the hoppers are going to go into the chest. And then on top of the hoppers, it'll be casting table. So when, when whatever that we're casting gets cast, it'll automatically be sucked out by the hopper and into the chest. So that's pretty much how that works. I'm going to go ahead and put this, I guess, I think I can just right click. No. Maybe I can shift right click. No. Okay, I thought I could fill this up, but maybe not. I'll go ahead and put this here. And seared tank. Or maybe I think it automatically took it out when I placed it right next to it. So that's cool. I don't know if it'll continue to take this out if it's here, or if I should move it back into the front of the seared tank. But that's cool. I didn't know that that was going to happen. So that's a pleasant surprise. So first thing we need to do is we need to get an ingot cast for this. So let's check out the cast. And we need the ingot cast. I guess it doesn't matter which cast, but we can either use gold or aluminum bronze. Unless they change that. You might not be able to use aluminum or aluminum brass, I mean. Yeah, aluminum brass. So how do we get aluminum brass? The recipe is not showing up. Molten aluminum brass. I thought it was aluminum and copper. So let's see if I have aluminum and copper. And I'm pretty sure it's 1 aluminum to 3 copper. Of course, that's just from memory. So we're just going to be doing a little bit of testing. I know this is, let's see. Do I not have aluminum? Does aluminum, and I should probably turn caps lock off. I also can't do the thing that you used to be able to do with NEI, where you double click and like this outline would turn yellow and this would turn yellow and it would highlight everything that matches. So you can't do that with NEI. I'm not actually seeing aluminum. I might have to go mining for it. But yeah, like I was saying, we're just going to experiment around, do a little bit of testing for this stuff. I know it's first episode. Kind of boring, not really a whole lot of interesting stuff we can do, but we'll try to make the most of it. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and make the hoppers and the chest, try to find a little bit of aluminum and see if we can use aluminum brass, because the gold is a little bit more precious. If we have to use gold though, it's no big deal. I'm not going to be making a whole lot of casts at the moment, really just an ingot cast to get going. I do want to see if we have the redstone clock. We do have the redstone clock from Extra Utils 2. Recipe for that's pretty simple. So I will probably make one of those too. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go get a little bit more prepared, and then we will be right back here to take a closer look at Tinker's Construct Smelteries. Alright, so I went ahead and got the materials that we're going to need. It doesn't look like aluminum ore is in this pack. So molten aluminum, if I click that, it doesn't show any recipes besides putting these cells into the cells that's already holding molten aluminum into canisters or these cells or whatever. But yeah, there is no recipe for either molten aluminum or molten aluminum brass besides these, which don't really tell us anything. And aluminum ore doesn't show up in JEI when I search for it. So yeah, I'm just assuming that there is no aluminum, so there's no aluminum brass, which is kind of unfortunate. That means we do have to use gold, but it's not too much of a problem. So if I go ahead and throw in 1 gold, this should smelt down into 2 ingots, right? And let's go ahead and need to get rid of this first so we can place down the hopper. Chest, hopper, and the ingot itself. So we're just going to put the chest there, and the hopper is just going to go into it like that. And then eventually I'll do the same thing on the other side for the basin, but I don't want to use all that iron at the moment. We'll do that after we smelt up and double a little bit of iron. This actually smelted down into 3 ingots. I was not expecting that. And alright, so I brought an iron ingot, but if we could do this with seared brick, that would be even better. Because, oh, that's cool. The one probe even showed the like how long it took, its progress. But yeah, so right, it consumed the ingot. And that's why I would have preferred not to use the iron. And we now have a cast. So we throw the cast on here, and we should have, yeah, 1 gold because it takes 2 ingots to cast 1 cast or mold or whatever these are. So we'll put that there. Yeah, that's cool. I really like that little animation. That's definitely a new thing. So let's sleep really quickly. And it even shows me in a sleeping bag. Nice little feature. Anyway, so we need to add a little bit of automation now. So, of course, I got the materials, but I forgot to actually make the item. So let's go ahead and make the item now. I hope it's like this. Yep, redstone clock. And let's also grab a lever while we're out here so we can control it. And just wood, stick, cobblestone, lever. Alright. So now what we have to do, redstone clock, just like that. And then we'll put a lever here so we can control it. And the cool thing is you can actually visually tell. So when it's on, it's kind of inverting it. You can see that the redstone clock is active when this is off. Then we turn it on. Redstone clock is no longer active. So that's cool. So now, go ahead and throw some gold ore in there. Let it smelt up and make sure this is active. And then this should automatically cast into the ingot cast. And then it should automatically take it out. And then another thing that we can do, and I also really like this little change too. Like there's so many little changes in 1.10 that I really like, and even with the mods. So you can now, like the hitbox for the casting table, you can look through it and see the hopper below it. Before, you could not. The hitbox was like, it took up this whole side. And now you can access the hopper. So that's really cool. But yeah, so you can see it's automatically casting, and there is our gold. So that's great. So we'll make another hopper, and we'll run it into here from this side. And then on top of that, we can put another chest. And then I can go grab, for example, all of my iron, put it in the chest, and then it will automatically be processed. Now, I can't put everything in the chest. Some stuff, if you mix it together in its molten form, it will produce an alloy. So, yeah, I'll have to go through NEI and look at everything. I know, like, stuff like gold and silver. Let's actually just take a look. So molten gold, what can we use that for? Casting, fluid tank. Although they might have removed some. Like, I know gold and silver don't mix together, but they could have taken silver out the same way that they took out aluminum. So silver, although I am seeing silver ingots and molten silver. So, consumes cast. Clay cast. That's neat. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's not really super important though. I'll just have to be careful. I'll probably just do everything one at a time, like throw all of my iron in there. Once that's finished, go get all the copper, throw that in there, and let that cast. But yeah, so that's pretty much the plan for right now. So I'm going to start processing some of these ores. And I'll be back in a little bit and show you what I get, and hopefully we'll have something else interesting to do at that point. So I will be right back. Alright, here is a really cool feature. If you right click on one of these quark beds while it's daytime, you can actually set your spawn point. So yeah, that's really neat. Anyway, as for the smeltery, it's working just fine. I have this automation set up that I said I was going to do, and I went ahead and added a hopper over here. So if we actually look in here, we can see it says we have 9 blocks and 1 ingot's worth. And of course, as it smelts, this should very soon say, okay, 8 blocks and 8 ingots. So as long as there's a pretty good amount of molten iron in here, I can come over here and click this, and make this go a little bit faster. The reason why I don't want to put the redstone clock over here is because this could fill up with like, when it gets down really low, it could say, for example, only have 4 ingots left, and then cast the 4 ingots in here, and that's not enough to make a full block. So that would be just filling this up until I find enough ingots to make another block, and yeah, we don't want that. So for now, I'm just manually coming over here and doing it by hand whenever I see that, there's enough that it should finish before it'll take all of the iron out, if that makes sense. Yeah, but this is working just great. Anyway, I did want to quickly talk about the Torturino mod. So pretty much anyone who is familiar with this mod pack knows what the Torturino does, but just in case you don't, the recipe for it is pretty simple. It's 4 clocks around a torch, and you can put it down, and I'm not sure if this will be a good way to demonstrate, but if you hold right click, or if you hold shift and right click, you can see change speed, 400% increase, and then if you click it one more time, it'll go back to 0. Same thing if we click without shift, if we right click without shifting, radius, yeah, and there you can see it's speeding this whole process up. So basically what the Torturino does is it increases the tick radius, or increases the tick speed of any machines or any blocks within a certain radius. And the radius can go up to 9 by 3 by 9, and the tick speed can go up to 400. Now, there are actually compressed versions of these. So if we take 9 Torturinos, we can make a compressed Torturino, and this goes up to an even higher number. I forget what exactly, but I know it's ridiculous. And look at that. It's already done. All of that is now done. And you can also make a double compressed Torturino, making 9 or using 9 of the compressed Torturinos. And this is just ridiculously insane. I think it's like 32,000% faster. Of course, the radius stays the same. You can still only do 9 by 3 by 9, but still, it's ridiculously insane. And the way that I'm going to use Torturino in this series is for, time-consuming stuff like this, speed it up just a little bit. Just because for me personally, I don't really have a whole lot of time to play and record. So, if there's something I can speed up just a little bit, I will use Torturinos. But I'm not going to use it to do like insanely OP or borderline cheaty stuff, because as you might be able to imagine, there are definitely some tricks and some things you can do with Torturino to just pretty much just make yourself totally OP. But we're not going to do that. I'm just going to use it for things such as, a good example is the smeltery, just speed things along. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick, and I believe that's actually going to do it for this episode. We're getting a little long on the video times, so yeah, again, first episode, not really too much that we can do to make it interesting, but between now and the next one, I am going to be mining and processing ores. I might make a few things with some of the ores that I collect, but I will definitely catch you up in the next one, and we will probably get into a little bit more Tinker's Construct. I might make some Tinker's Construct tools in between episodes. I kind of want to explain stuff a little bit more in this series than I usually do, so I might hold off and wait so that I can actually explain it on camera. That way I think it's a little bit more interesting than just sitting there and trying to catch up, but we will see what happens. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the series and the mod pack. I certainly do. So far, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm also going to have a look through some of the mods and just see what other kind of interesting, cool stuff that we could get into. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.